everybody, welcome to Chocolate Hazelnut Podcast.
I'm Chocolate.
And I'm Hazelnut, and this is our very first
show.
show.
So we're going to jump right into it. So today we're going to present a video, and we're going to give you our opinions. We would love to hear from you in the comment section. So before we start, we want you to like, comment, and subscribe for more of our content. Please tell us what we did well and what we should improve on. We look forward to hearing from you.
So there's a young woman who went viral for declaring that she's no longer interested in dating. And her primary reason is that she's finding that a requirement to date is having to be a man's mom in a way, like needing to take care of a grown man. And baby, she has got the man's briefs in a bunch. I don't understand why you guys are beefing her. It is so strange to me how the response from a lot of men have been, and that's why you don't have a man. And it's like, that's exactly what she's saying. She's saying she's no longer trying to go after men because she's not trying to baby them, because our society keeps centering dating and love around taking care of a man, and she's not interested in taking care of a.
So she said, society said, centers dating around taking care of a man. I would be very interested to hear your view on that. Do you agree, disagree? And if so, why not?
I agree in a way because more traditional roles, like the women took care of the household, which includes taking care of a man to a degree, keeping the house clean, making sure food is on the table, taking care of the kids, all of the other stuff. But in today's time, there is a lot of blurred lines with that because literally, like, women are still doing all of those things more so than men when in a relationship, but then at the same time they're working just as much as men as well. So I guess that's where she's trying to say, like, you know, that particular woman saying that she doesn't want to take care of a man, she doesn't want to put that extra energy in.
So my question is, if she no longer wants to take care of the man and take care of the household, should the man still be willing to put his life on the line to protect that household?
See, I don't think that that's where it's at. Like, because hold on. First off, let me get your opinion on that stance, because you're asking questions. What is your opinion on that before we go down this rabbit hole?
My opinion that is, if the man is willing to put his life on the line at the household, while we're no longer the traditional where the man works and earns majority of the money, there still should be roles that each individual plays. Yes, the man should contribute to the housework. It's not solely the woman's job, but at the same time, if she wants a traditional relationship, but she's saying she doesn't. She's not saying. I'm not specifically speaking of the lady who said that, but if a woman wants a traditional relationship where the man is the provider, protector, willing to lay his life on the line for the family, she should be willing to do more of the traditional things, even if she's working and bringing in income, even in a 50-50 household, because if she still expects him to take care of the quote-unquote manly duties around the house, why shouldn't she be in charge of taking care of the quote-unquote
I'm not going to say that I disagree with what you're saying, because I agree. Like, if that's like for the typical relationship, I would say, yeah, like that's exactly how it should be. However, in the context of this video, like that's clearly not what that woman wants. The woman who says she doesn't want to take care of a man, she wants somebody that's fully functioning, that on their own, and when she comes in, y'all be fully functioning together. She doesn't want to have to remind you about appointments or pick up after you and all this other stuff. And for her particularly, it'll be harder for her to find a man like that, but I'm not saying that she can't. However, the fact of the matter that so many men have come after her saying, well, you're going to die alone, and that's why you're single now, you can't find a man, this, that, and the third. None of us know her particular experience. So, like, yes, we can talk about women in general, men in general, in the context of, like, you know, the man and the woman's roles inside of a relationship. But this bit is about that particular woman and society's response to her.
Yeah, but I would have to disagree with you that it's just about her. While she made this statement, and the reason people are coming for her is because they're speaking about the society in whole in regards to her particular view. Yes, they're responding to her video, but as a whole, they're responding to, hey, you don't want to do these traditional duties. So yes, it's going to be harder for you to get a man who wants to deal with you, even the non-traditional men,
Okay.
because as a partner, the man should be saying, hey, you remember you have your appointment. The woman should say, hey, you got your appointment. Remember this.
Right.
Hey, honey, I'm going to take out the trash. You wash the dishes. I'll wash the car. Whatever it is. If
Right.
you want that out of the relationship, she doesn't want that. That's good for her. And that's fine. It is going to be someone out there for her. However, her going online and espousing these views makes it a whole lot tougher for her to find somebody who wants to deal with her. Because as a guy, I take this as a woman that when I come home, instead of going to be nurturing, she's going to be more argumentative. And you may not see that, but as a guy,
I would
that's how I see
disagree with
it.
that. And I mean, I can understand where you're coming from, but I feel like with her as a person, and maybe this is just the way that I view things and think that when she says that she doesn't want to be responsible for making sure that you do the things that you know you should do anyway. For an example, the vast majority of men don't like to go to doctor's appointments, right? It's generally a woman that's telling them, hey, you need to go to the doctor, or they'll set the doctor's appointments for them. They'll remind them about their doctor's appointments, all of those things,
Yes.
right? But that's what she's saying she doesn't want to do. So if you know you need to go to the doctor, make it set you're on a doctor appointment. And if she knows, she'll be like, hey, are you on your way to your doctor's appointment? I don't think that she's saying that she won't do that and be, you know, caring about what happens with you, but she doesn't want to have to coerce you to do the things that you already know you need to do. Furthermore, I feel like on top of that, she feels that, you know, when you come through the door, like if y'all are both working full time, y'all are both, you know, tired when you walk through the door, she doesn't want to have to come inside the house and still do more work than you at home. She wants it to be more of an equal thing. If we're both working
I
40
want to
hours a
interject.
week,
And I get it, 40 hours a week. She shouldn't have to do more at home. However, is she going to be willing to get out there on the weekends and do the yard work? Is she going to be out there wanting to rake, trim the hedges, cut the grass? Granted, that may be a weekend thing. Is she going to want to get out there and wash the car, check the oil, take the cars for their daily checkup? Does she still wants to participate in those, or is that going to be an issue which she never addressed? So if she has problem with those tasks that are traditionally what women do and why men live longer in marriages, is she going to be upset when he doesn't want to do the traditional tasks that men do in the
and
relationship?
that's the question, and that's why I say none of us know like what her particular experiences have been or anything like that. I just feel like everybody's taking what she said and running with it so far left. And I understand what she's saying is not traditional of being in a like a regular like more traditional mindset of a relationship. I get it, and I agree. If she's not willing to do those extra things that is normally assigned to the woman in a relationship, okay, fine. Like, you know, what are the stipulations of the type of relationship that you want? But again, I feel like what she said applies to her, not women as a whole.
It does apply to her, but right now we're talking in the broader
I
context of it because she opened the door for criticism on herself, but she also opened the door for the context of a more generalized conversation because there are a lot of women who feel like this.
And I would say to that that women literally are kind of living in these dreamscapes where they literally are like, oh, I don't need a man, I want a man, or, you know, they want a husband, but then they still want to live their outside social life as if they're still single, you know, of like, oh, you knew I like to go out with my friends and I dressed like this before we met. That was before you met. You were single, you could do that. But you change when you're in a relationship. And for anybody who says that you don't need to change when you're in a relationship, that's a whole lie. Because you change for the better, you change because you need to equally respect one another. There is the importance of a relationship is mutual respect and growth, love for each other, all of that other stuff. So out of respect for your significant other, you don't do certain things. You don't dress a certain way. Like, I mean, you know,
Well, we're going to start the video back up in just a moment, but before we do, one thing I'd like to point on is that when you're in a relationship, marriage or otherwise, you have a duty to the other person.
Yes.
And your duty should be for you guys to be able to do the best that you can together. Come together, pool your resources together, provide and protect each other. You should balance each other out. Where he's weak, she may be strong. So she may be strong with budgeting and the finances. He may be strong
Fixing a car.
Fixing a
Yard
car.
work.
He may be strong with that. So the responsibility of paying the bills may go to her. Even though they both.
You hit me in the face with your hand.
I wasn't gonna hit you in the face. I'm editing this part out, okay? I'm editing this part out, okay?
Because your hand keep getting closer and closer to my
So,
face.
She may be more responsible with the bills, so she in charge of the finances. Even though they both may make around the same amount, she may make more, he may make more. But she's in charge of making sure the mortgage is paid, the insurance is paid on the cars, the houses, property taxes getting paid, which should be wrapped up in mortgage, that type of stuff. But he's in charge of making sure that everything in the house is still running, the house, cars are still running, and getting stuff done. Anything you like that before we start the video?
And yet men are angry. The funniest part about this to me is the fact that the rebuttal she's getting is, and you're gonna die single. I don't know why people think women are afraid to die under the status of single. Do you know how many women have died under the status of bitterly divorced or unhappily married? Two, there have been a lot of statistics, especially here in the US, that have shown that actually a lot of men do die alone. Women have friends. Women have close, intimate friendship. Women's kids tend to like them. They tend to have the loyalty of their children. Women have nieces, nephews, siblings. I don't understand why people think that if a woman has decided, you know what, I'm not interested in dating and I'm no longer interested in getting married, that's just going to live a miserable life. And it needs to stop. So I just thought that was very interesting. I thought it was very interesting that men were very angry at her. She said she volunteered and removed herself from the dating pool, and you're mad. And then the rebuttal is you'll be alone. She has already told you she's happy to be single. I think that when women make the choice not to center their lives around men, it's got the men shook. And guess what, honey? There are going to be a lot more women that are going to be on this table. I think thanks to education and thanks to exposure and some of the things going on, a lot of women are going to happily say, you know what? I actually don't feel like dating. And if you men are going to be angry about it, be angry. But for the most part, just leave them alone. If you're a man and you are looking to love a woman, go and love a woman. But stop harassing women that have happily said that they want to be single. That is strange. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
So, she had some very interesting points. You know, I let you start this one off. You get with me and let me know what you think.
Okay, so with the rest of everything that she said, one thing that I will say is that I do find it interesting that so many men are coming after her for saying that she doesn't want to be in a dating pool. And I don't quite get that. Like, it's almost like when women expect men to come after them and then men don't, like women get mad. Is that the same thing that's happening with this? She says, hey, look, because of the experiences I had and I don't want to do this, I don't want to date anymore, and men are attacking her. Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, it's not that she's taking herself out the dating pool. It's the fact that she's saying that she's not willing to work with or cooperate with the man. That's how we see it. While she says she wants a fully functional adult, men are fully functional, and like I said earlier, there are certain duties that from birth men are expected to perform when they're in a relationship, whether they're dating or married. Okay. We have to come in there marriage ready, even if we're not marriage minded.
I disagree with that.
Because if you don't, you will end up by yourself. That relationship.
I fully disagree with that, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because so many men are in relationships, even right now with women, they fully have no intention of marrying, and they know it. However,
I just said we have to be marriage ready, even if we're not marriage minded.
No, you don't.
What I mean by that is we still have, minus some of these guys that are bums out here. You have to You have to be ready to protect your family. You have to be ready to protect the one that you're with. You have to be willing to perform most of the tasks that you will perform when you get married. Because as a man, you still are expected to pump the gas. You still expected to take your woman's car to get checked out. If you don't do it yourself, you're still expected to mow the grass, the hedges, and do most of the manual labor that you can. And if she has a problem around the house that you can't fix, yes, we can open up in today's society and call somebody to fix it. But a lot of times that task will fall on the man himself. Hell, you might even get called over just to kill a spider.
But the
And
point
those
of
are,
all of that is, I agree, those things do typically fall on the man. But just simply being in a relationship, a vast majority of men do not do those things.
well,
Like simply,
they had a,
and hold on, but and the reason why I was disagreeing with you is because like there are tons of men who are like exhibiting straight, like I'm only here for one particular reason, right? But yet women will take that and call it a relationship, and they can be together with each other for 3 years. In her head, she can change him, and in his head, he's just you know he got a constant person to be with
if
until he finds somebody else.
if he there just for the cakes and she know it, who
But
fault is that?
again,
Even if, because a lot of
I'm
guys
not
will let
saying
it
it's
be known.
anybody's fault, but you said that men have to come to relationships
They do.
marriage minded ready.
They do.
And even when they decide early on that this is not the person they want to be with, yet they
I didn't
stay
say marriage
because
minded. I said they have to be marriage ready,
that
even
no,
if they
that's-
are not marriage minded.
okay, but even at marriage ready, what does that even mean?
It
Because
just
you
I
have
just
18-year-old
explained it.
you have 18-year-old kids getting married, you got 36-year-old men getting married just because like they can literally get married and still not know what it takes to be married.
Well, the problem with that is
So
they
I
haven't been
mean,
taught.
I still I get where you're coming from if you're taught properly and you know better, but a lot of guys don't know better.
Well, this is where it comes into vetting your partner, the person that you're with,
Okay.
talking to their family members, talking to the people around them. Heck, you can even talk to their coworkers. You can tell a lot by just the people that they surround themselves with, because we typically surround ourselves by people who act like us. Not always the case, but we do. If you notice that their friends are 9 times out of 10, they have 12 friends and 9 of them are single, that tells you that they're more into the single lifestyle. If they are constantly going out when you first meet them, okay, that might be fine, but as you get deeper into a relationship, their attention centers more towards their friends versus you. That's a red flag in itself. So at that time, you have to decide if you want to continue on in a relationship that looks like it's a dead end, or you just want to continue having fun. If it's just about fun for both of you guys, have your fun, just don't bring any children into it. If you see that he's not performing the duties that you would expect out of a husband, have a talk with him, and you guys need to figure out where you are at within the relationship. See if that's where both of you guys' mindsets are. If that's what you want out of it and he doesn't, split. Even though you have feelings for him or her, leave him. As you're wasting time, you're going to get harder over time.
Yep.
Pain will subside. You will move on. Feelings go away. Take your time to heal. Get back in the dating market. When you need therapy, go get therapy. That's my answer to that. All right. With that being said, you guys, thank you for coming to our podcast. And we look forward to hearing your opinions, your views. Please
Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment below. Let us know what you thought about our very first episode. They will get better, we promise. Also, send us any material that you'd like for us to discuss and any feedback, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. Let us know.